can't stop doing that. I just love it so much. It's so much fun. I mean, look at it. It's such a cool sign. Christina got this for me for my birthday in January, and it is finally here, and I just can't keep turning it on and off, on and off. I mean, look, you can do these crazy modes. Bah, bah, bah. You want to have Caesars? There you go. But we'll leave it on this for now. Aviation, welcome to the Pilot to Pilot YouTube channel. I am doing an Ask Me Anything. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you have missed out on the opportunity to ask me a question. So go follow me at Pilot to Pilot, as I'm going to do more of these in the future. This will help me create more and more YouTube content. I think this will be pretty valuable. There's one rule. There is no Ask Me Anything coronavirus questions. So if you ask a question about the coronavirus, I will not be answering it, as this is just going to be positive and just asking about me personally or flight related or aviation related, other than the coronavirus. Now, before we get started, the hats are in. Here's the all black Pilot to Pilot hat. We have two more colors. We have the Pilot to Pilot hat, light gray and white, and then we also have the gray and black Pilot to Pilot hat. There's some pretty sweet hats, and I'm very proud of them. I know it's a weird time to be pushing hats, so do not feel like you have to buy them right now. If you'd like to buy them in the future, when everything kind of comes back and the economy is back to where it is, you can go to shoppilot2pilot.com. They will be there waiting for you, but do not feel like you have to buy them at all. But they are pretty dope. All black's definitely my favorite. All right, let's go ahead and get to the questions. The first question that I wanted to answer, it was a DM from Brittany Spins. She was on the podcast. That's one of my favorite questions that was asked. She asked me, in these interviews, do I ever feel like I want to switch to be an ag pilot, or do I get jealous of maybe some of the other cool flying that they do, like Alaskan bush pilots or people that land on gravel strips up in the mountains? The answer is no, I'm not necessarily jealous or feel like I need to make the switch. I'm currently flying the job that is perfect for me. I love flying the Latitude for the company that I fly. It is a lot of fun. There's a big mix of range of what we get to do. So we get to fly to the mountains. We get to fly to small fields. We get to fly to skinny runways. We get to do some pretty cool stuff. So I wouldn't trade my job for the world. I love talking about aviation, and I love hearing what you do. And it generally excites me when people find something that they're so passionate about and absolutely love to do. Some other questions were, do I ever plan on getting back into general aviation? Well, I mean, I'm currently in general aviation with the job I have now, but I think he touches more on the fact of flying 172s, Arrows, those kind of airplanes. I would love to. My main goal for the podcast is to buy an airplane and do the interviews in the podcast. I think that'd be pretty cool. That's somewhere way off in the future, but I think that is definitely a possibility and something that I'm looking to do soon. So if you want to help support and buy an airplane, hit me up. You know where I'm at. That'd be a lot of fun. What's the hardest check ride you ever taken? It was by far the instrument check ride. There was a lot of external factors that were causing some pressure on me on that. The clouds were low. I didn't know if I was going to go. I necessarily didn't prepare as much as I should have for it, and I just kind of rushed into it. So I actually failed my instrument check ride. That was by far the hardest one I did. I went back and took it the next week and passed, and everything was good. But yeah, instrument check ride for sure. What is an AMA? It's an Ask Me Anything. Someone thought it was the American Music Awards or something like that. It's like, I can't sing. You know this. You listen to me talk. You barely want to hear me talk for an hour. You won't want to hear me sing for sure. Let's see. Other than being a CFI, what is the best way to build your time? I think the way I built my time was one of the better ways you can do it. It's arguably the same as being a CFI, but I was an aerial survey, and then I went and flew 135 single pilot freight. The experience I got, I would never want to trade for the world. Some people choose a CFI route. I just knew that that wasn't necessarily for me. What's your favorite craft brewery, and have you tried Brewdog USA? No, I have not tried Brewdog USA. If you want to send me some, I'd love to try some. But my favorite one is a Great Lakes Brewery Chill Wave Double IPA. It's the best beer ever made. What's my dream airplane? 787 for sure. If you could do something different in your aviation path, would you do it differently? No, I had some kind of bumps in my road, and I had some things that I wasn't proud of that happened or happy that happened, like losing an engine in West Virginia and landing on a mountain. But everything that I've learned has taught me to be the pilot that I am today, and I truly take that experience, and I know it's made me a better pilot. So I wouldn't trade anything for what has happened to me from the world. Another question, if you could fly to any airport in the world, what would that be? I think St. Bart's would be pretty cool. I'd love to take a PC-12 in there. It'd be freaky, I'd be terrified, but I think it'd be a lot of fun. How do you eat and stay healthy and active on trips? This is very, very hard. I'd say the number one thing is consistency. As soon as you stop doing it, as soon as you take 1 day off or even 2 days off, it's gonna be hard for you to get back into that routine. I mean, there have been times where the gym is pretty crappy. There's no dumbbells, and you have to use your roller bag, your crew bag to do curls and do triceps, to do some weights in there. So you can get creative. You can figure out good ways to stay healthy, and I think that it's just all about consistency. Once you stop, it's hard to start doing it again. What's in my pockets every single day? AirPod Pros. I have worn those bad boys out. I feel like I've had them for 3 months and I need to get a new pair because I wear them so much. They're great for noise cancellation when you're around the airplane, doing the walk around and just kind of hanging out, listening to music while you're waiting on passengers. AirPod Pro for sure. Based off my blog, was I moving into commercial aviation? I want to set the record. I have not written a single article that is on the website. It's on aviationcoronavirusnews.com. Some of my friends and some of the followers have written some blog articles. Those are not mine. So no, I have never considered going commercial, and no, I have not applied to commercial, or I have not gotten the job and then been rejected from it. So no, those are not my articles. What advice can you give people about starting their training? I would say study. Self-study is huge. You need to self-study as much as you possibly can. I didn't self-study as much as I needed to, and it made me repeat lessons, which was more expensive, and it kept pushing off that check ride. So self-study, there's so much great online content. You have Jason from The Finer Points, you have Chris from Angle of Attack. Just absorb all that information and you will just do fine. You will be set up for the right path and you will do great. Do I know Steve-O? I've met Steve-O one time, but I wouldn't really consider that me knowing Steve-O. Can you get him on the podcast? I reached out to him. Steve-O, if you're listening to this, hit me up. Let's make it happen. But yeah, he has shown no interest in wanting to come on the podcast. Can I fly GA and take us along on the videos, such as YouTube videos? I mean, I would love to. If someone has a 172, an Aero, a PC-12, slide in my DMs, let me fly it around, but that's about the only way that's going to happen right now. If I could fly any airplane for the company I currently fly right now, which plane would it be? By far, the Global. I think flying a private jet all the way across the world would be a lot of fun, and it'd be a great way to see the world. How do I handle a wife going to medical school? I'll give you one tip. Be very, very, very quiet. That's the best thing that you can possibly do. How's Laddie as a business jet, factoring comfort and reliability? Laddie's been great so far. The cockpit is more comfortable than a 737 cockpit. I'm nowhere near the other person when we're flying. I can stretch out fully, so I would definitely say it is the most comfortable plane I've ever flown. Granted, I've only flown like 4 airplanes, so you can't really take that for what it is. But yeah, I'd say the Laddie is solid. Why don't you move to Phoenix? No idea. Don't really want to move to Phoenix. Good question, though. Would I rather give up Chick-fil-A or Starbucks for a year? I mean, if you don't follow me, or if you do follow me, you know the answer is by far give up Starbucks. You can get coffee at Chick-fil-A. You can live off Chick-fil-A for the rest of your life. I mean, Chick-fil-A is probably the greatest thing that's ever invented. What's going to be your next equipment upgrade for the podcast? I want to get a standing desk. It's a Jarvis desk where it's going to be motorized and it's going to come up, be right about, you can't really see where my hand is, but be right under the sign, and I can stand up and I can sit down. That's going to be the next thing I buy, and I'd love to get some sort of sweet little studio. I know this second bedroom I'm filming right now is kind of, it works for now, but I think having a studio would be pretty cool. What's your favorite aircraft? I answered before. Airline, it's going to be a 787. That's really the only airplane that makes me want to go to the airlines. I mean, just seeing a 787, the routes that they fly, the curves of the plane, it's just an amazing airplane. I'd say for business aviation, I mean, obviously I love the Latitude, but the Global, especially the 7500 that's coming out, that thing is sweet, and I would love to fly that. What's my end goal with aviation? Am I going to stay corporate or will I go airlines? Right now, I have no intention to leave. I love the job that I have right now, and I would consider myself very lucky to keep this for my whole career. Someone said, what is your political view of the coronavirus? So, not answering that one, thanks a lot. Why do you fly corporate over airlines or vice versa? I mean, I've explained this enough. Corporate is just perfect for me. Where I fly is pretty much an airline for corporate world. So I get the semi-schedule of an airline, and I also get the last minute, kind of the cool flying that corporate offers as well. Any advice for someone that wants to work where you work? So where I work right now, I take this a step further and say any advice for landing your dream job? It would be to set a plan. You want to work here, but you have to figure out how you're going to go from here to here. So set up a plan, step by step, how you're going to do it. CFI, how many hours are you going to be a CFI for? Then you're going to go fly freight, or are you going to stay CFI? I mean, it just depends on what you want to do, but set up a plan and follow it step by step. Now also be aware that there could be other avenues off that plan. So you could be at step 2 of step 6, and you might need to take a veer to keep on going up to step 6 and get yourself in the best opportunity possible to land your dream job. I'm going to answer 2 more questions. One is, what is your favorite sports history moment, and I would have to say personally for me when I played at Ohio State, it would be winning the Rose Bowl my first year at Ohio State, and the second one at Ohio State would be on our worst year, as my junior year. It was when Coach Tressel and Terrell Pryor, and we had the whole tattoo gate thing going on. We went to the Gator Bowl that year, but we beat Wisconsin when we were never supposed to beat Wisconsin. We took Russell Wilson into overtime, and we beat them, and it was pretty much a last-second pass. It was unbelievable, and probably the coolest memory I've ever had at Ohio State. Outside of that, maybe sports that I like to watch, I would say it would be when Bayern Munich wins the Champions League, especially when they beat Dortmund. Shout out to Captain Joe. He's a Dortmund fan. I always love when Bayern Munich beats Dortmund. Let's see, one more. What we got? All right, here's the last one. What is your favorite airline based outside the United States? That's kind of tough because I haven't flown on too many airlines outside the United States. I like to fly the American Airlines, but I would say New Zealand Air would probably be my favorite, and I have no real data to back that up other than the fact that when I was in college, we would watch New Zealand Air commercials, and their commercials were by far the best and the funniest commercials, so I always had a lot of respect for Air New Zealand, so I think it would definitely be Air New Zealand. Aviation, that's all I have for the Ask Me Anything. If you'd like for me to do another one of these, drop it down in the comments, hit the like button, and make sure to subscribe. My dad's podcast came out yesterday. That was episode number 100. It was a huge episode and just a lot of fun having him on the podcast. We talk a lot about his career, the ups and the downs that he's been through, and ironically, we talk about how we never think the industry will take a downturn that it did in the past, and now here we are. Aviation, I appreciate you guys watching this, and if you want more videos, like I said, hit the like button and subscribe, and give me some content down below. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about. All right, Aviation, that's it. Remember, you can get the hats at shoppilotthepilot.com, and check out the website tracking coronavirus and the effects on the airline industry, aviationcoronavirusnews.com. I'll see you guys later.